Welcome to the Inner Chamber, a place for reflection in a noisy world. Today, let's talk about hurting people, hurt people.
The wound can become a language. Hurting people hurt people. Most of us have heard those words before. They sound simple, almost obvious. But perhaps there is something much deeper hiding inside them. What if understanding where someone's behavior comes from does not mean accepting what they do? Because sometimes the person who hurts you is carrying something that began long before you ever entered their life. A wound, a disappointment, a betrayal, a rejection, an experience they survived but never fully healed from. And over time, something can happen. The wound can become a language. What happened to them slowly begins influencing what happens through them. They were rejected, so closeness becomes difficult. They were betrayed, so trust becomes dangerous. They were constantly criticized, so they learn to criticize first. They were abandoned, so they leave emotionally before anyone has the opportunity to leave them. They were never heard, so every disagreement begins to feel like another battle to be understood. And perhaps the most difficult part is that they may not recognize any of this as wounded behavior. To them, it feels like survival. Because there may have been a time when those behaviors actually protected them. Distance kept someone from getting too close. Suspicion kept them alert. Silence kept them from becoming vulnerable. Walls protected places within them that had already been wounded enough. Those responses may have helped them survive a season. But survival mechanisms can outlive the circumstances that created them. And what protected you in one season can damage the people who love you in another. You may no longer be protecting yourself from the person who hurt you. You may be protecting yourself from someone who never did. And that raises a difficult question. Is someone in your present paying for something that happened in your past? Sometimes a person enters your life carrying genuine love, patience, honesty, and good intentions. But they encounter defenses they did not create. They are questioned because someone else betrayed you. They are kept at a distance because someone else abandoned you. Their words are examined through the memory of what someone else once said. Their actions are measured against something someone else once did. And without realizing it, yesterday begins participating in a relationship that belongs to today. But understanding this does not mean harmful behavior should simply be accepted. Pain may explain behavior. Pain does not excuse behavior. There is a difference between compassion and permission. You can understand why someone struggles to trust without accepting constant suspicion. You can understand why someone fears abandonment without spending your life proving that you will never leave. You can understand why someone built walls without allowing those walls to become a prison around you. You can understand someone's history without allowing their history to become your injury. Compassion does not require unlimited access, and boundaries do not mean you have stopped caring. Sometimes love understands the wound while wisdom recognizes what the wound is doing. Because there are two people standing in this story. There is the person carrying the wound, and there is the person experiencing what that wound has learned to do. Both matter. But perhaps we should be careful not to listen to this message only while thinking about someone else. Because sometimes we have been wounded by people who were hurting. And sometimes people have been wounded by something hurting within us. Sometimes we have been both. That is where this conversation becomes personal. Because it is much easier to recognize someone else's defenses than our own. It is easier to remember who disappointed us than to consider who may now be experiencing the consequences of that disappointment. It is easier to ask, who hurt me? But perhaps healing eventually asks another question. Who is being affected because I have not healed from who hurt me? That question is not meant to place responsibility on you for what someone else did. You are not responsible for the wound someone gave you. You did not choose the betrayal. You did not choose the rejection. You did not choose the abandonment. You did not choose the words that wounded you. But there may come a time when you become responsible for what you allow that wound to produce through you. Healing carries responsibility. Not responsibility for what happened to you. Responsibility for what happens through you afterward. Because healing is not simply about becoming comfortable with the past. Sometimes healing means recognizing that the past has been making decisions in the present. It means noticing when an old wound is speaking before you allow it to answer for you. It means recognizing when the person standing in front of you is being asked to defend themselves against something they never did. It means learning that vulnerability is not always danger. That disagreement is not always rejection. That distance is not always abandonment. That someone else's mistake does not automatically make them the person who once wounded you. And perhaps healing begins when we stop asking everyone in our present to prove that they are different from someone in our past. Because the people who love us deserve the opportunity to be known for who they are, not continually measured against who someone else was. And we do deserve that freedom too. The freedom to experience today without requiring yesterday to interpret everything we see. The freedom to love without constantly preparing for loss. The freedom to listen without immediately defending. The freedom to recognize that the walls which once protected us may no longer be necessary. Hurting people can hurt people, but that does not have to be the end of the story, because wounds can be acknowledged. Patterns can be recognized. Walls can come down. Trust can be built carefully. And what traveled through generations, relationships, families, and years can stop with someone who finally decides to look inward. Maybe that someone is you. Maybe that someone is me. Healing is not only about feeling better. Healing is about making sure what happened to you does not keep happening through you. The wound may explain who you learn to become, but healing gives you the opportunity to decide who you will become next. The Inner Chamber.